CSU's football team passed the early test Saturday night at Wyoming, scoring on its first possession, leading at halftime, and by 4 points early in the fourth quarter. The Rams were running the ball effectively on a snow-slicked field that made passing unusually difficult in the second half. When it came time for the final regular exam, though, the Rams bombed. They failed to convert a 4th and 6 play from the Wyoming 35-yard line midway through the fourth quarter, then let the Cowboys march 69 yards in 7 plays for the winning touchdown in a 16-13 victory. That touchdown knocked Colorado State University out of contention for the Mountain West title and left the Rams 0-3 versus rivalry games with trophies going to the winners for the second straight season. It would be easy to write off the loss to the weather, cold rain in the first half that turned to snow at halftime and blanketed the field. But, as CSU coach Mike Bobo was quick to point out afterward, both teams were playing in the same conditions. Wyoming made the plays it needed down the stretch to win the game, CSU didn't. So the Rams, who had so much to play for, get a D for this one. Here's this week's complete report card. Quarterback, D. Nick Stevens completed 8 of 14 passes for 110 yards in sloppy conditions. He failed to throw a touchdown pass for the first time in 8 games. The offense scored 1 touchdown, settled for field goals on 2 other possessions, and twice turned the ball over on downs in Wyoming territory. Running backs, B. Dallin Dawkins ran for more than 100 yards for the 5th time in 6 games, gaining 154 yards on 29 carries, while becoming the Rams' first 1,000-yard rusher in a season since D. Hart in 2014. Izzy Matthews had 41 yards and a touchdown, and Rashad Body gained 19 yards on 4 carries. CSU had 235 yards rushing. The Rams would have gotten an A here if not for their inability to finish drives with touchdowns and pick up a critical first down on 4th and 6 late in the game. Offensive line, C. It's hard to find too much fault with a unit that opened holes for a strong ground game. CSU averaged a respectable 4.3 yards a carry. But the Rams' front 5 allowed Wyoming to sack Stevens twice and hit him hard after a couple other throws in a game in which he only threw 14 passes. There also was a costly holding penalty that stalled a drive late in the second quarter. Defensive line, D. CSU's defensive front played relatively well early on, limiting the Cowboys to just 102 rushing yards and 137 yards of offense in the first half. But they struggled to take down Wyoming quarterback Josh Allen when they had chances for sacks, and in the fourth quarter, they also allowed the Wyoming quarterback to bowl his way straight ahead for gains of 5 and 6 yards to set up the winning touchdown and a 2-yard run on 3rd and 1 with 2:25 remaining to seal the victory. Linebackers, C. Josh Watson led the Rams with 11 stops. Evan Colorito made a tackle in the backfield for a 7-yard loss on a 3rd down play that forced the Cowboys to settle for a field goal instead of touchdown after picking up a first down at the CSU 2-yard line. Max McDonald recovered a fumble in the fourth quarter, the game's only turnover. But the linebackers are the heart of the defense, and the defense failed the Rams when they needed it most, unable to stop straight-ahead runs on the drive that ended with the winning touchdown. Secondary, C. The Rams limited Allen to just 10 pass completions on 20 attempts and 138 yards through the air. But the passes they allowed included 2 for first downs on 3rd and long plays to keep drives alive, 1 for a 21-yard gain to the CSU 2-yard line, and another for a 17-yard gain on the opening play of the winning touchdown drive. Special teams, D. Although Wyatt Bryan made 2 field goals and punter Ryan Stonehouse averaged 46.5 yards on 4 punts, a fumbled hold that prevented Bryan from attempting a 33-yard field goal late in the third quarter was a game-changing mistake. Coaching, C. It's easy to pile on the coach when things don't work out, and CSU fans were quick to do so on social media. but the decision to stop calling pass plays as the snow was piling up late in the game was understandable, given the troubles Stevens said he was having with his footing on his dropbacks and the inability of his receivers to make cuts. CSU was leading and had the opportunity to put the game away without risking an interception. A punt from its own 19-yard line on 4th and 7 with 2:45 remaining and 2 timeouts drew plenty of criticism. But it was the defense's inability to make a stop, allowing Wyoming to run for 2 first downs to run out the clock, that made it a bad call instead of the right call. Overall, ultimately, the Rams lost a game they not only needed to win, but in many respects should have won. Their inability to hold on to the lead and win a close game against their biggest rival, and with the bronze boot and a shot at the Mountain West's Mountain Division title on the line, suggests they haven't made as much progress this season as it appeared they had while they were winning their first 4 conference games.